I'm going to show you the new debugging feature in Zed and how to use it with Swift. This feature just came out a week or so ago, and it didn't have Swift support at the beginning, but they just added it, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So let's dive in. Thanks for joining. My name is Brent Deverman. We'll go and, Zed is an editor that is written in Rust. It's very fast, and it's quite well done. So I've kind of switched to it. And this is their website, zed.dev. If you want to use the debugger, after you download it, we'll go through and go through this. So I've got it downloaded on my machine. So let's go to Zed. We're going to create a new project. So I'm just going to hit open. I'm going to go to my code folder, and I'm going to go to my Swift code folder. Let's create a command line app for Swift that we'll use as a debugging example. Empty folder. We're going to create, let's make this a bit bigger. And let's go and use the built-in command line. So we're going to write Swift package init to create a new package, and we want to give it a name. So that's going to be command line Swift, and it's going to be a type of tool. This will make a command line program for us and set everything up nicely. As you can see, we have a new package.swift created using the Swift argument parser package. So this is a ready-made command line tool with a hello world here. Let's go and build it. So we type Swift build. And as you can see, it's going to take some time to download the packages. I'll be back in a second. All right, the build is complete. You can see there, it took 40 seconds. The first one takes longer than usual, but if we can now run Swift run, and you will see the output of the hello world program showing here. And conveniently, Zed has recognized we are working with Swift, and Zed has a extension architecture which is plugins written in Rust, compiled to Wasm, and there's a Swift plugin already that supports what we need for debugging. And so yes, we will install this Swift extension to get more support for working with Swift in Zed. It's installed. Now let's go and modify our code so that we have a little bit more to work with as we're debugging. So to do this, let's say var name equals Brent. We'll set it to my name, and we're going to make a for loop so that we can make sure we have a little bit more to work with as we're debugging. And let's put that around here. That matches up. Okay, now we want to change this text to print out the name. And let's indicate we are in a for loop as well. Okay, so we're going to save the file. And when we save the file, we're gonna try and run the debugger, okay? And so the debugger is located here with the little debug icon, and you can create a new session, and we're gonna hit new session. When we hit new session, we find, oh, we're stuck, we can't do anything. You actually have to tell Zed how to run the program in debug mode. So let's escape out of this, and we need to edit this debug.json file. So conveniently we can click edit for this, and it's going to create a .z folder with the debug.json information here. And for each language, Zed has some settings that you need to set up. For Swift, we're going to go to the documentation. They have a very good document site, and they have something for each language. I clicked on Swift, and I have the information about the extension, configuring the language server, and the debugging information I need here. It's going to use LLDB-DAP, so that is included with Swift package that we're going to have to download. So first, we're going to end up going to swift.org to get this package and install it. And so what we want to do is click on the install button here. And this is going to install Swift. And so this, Swift is normally people associate it with being installed with Xcode. Well, now you have something called Swiftly, which installs Swift, the tool chain needed to manage it, and you can just use this without needing Xcode even. So I don't even have Xcode installed right now. That'll be another video. Let's go and let's go back to the command line, and we will run this command. We're going to just paste it in, and that's going to install Swiftly. Now, I've already installed it, so it's actually much faster. It didn't need to re-download it. I'm going to click yes to proceed to set up my files, and then Swift 6.1.2 is installed. And that means we have the debugging command we need. All right, let's go back and to the documentation where we can get this example and we can set up our debug.json file. Okay, here we are. Paste that over. And so this is what's going to show up in the interface that, okay, debug Swift. You're going to give it a command, which is a Swift command, and we're going to build it. And then you need to give it a program to go. So I think this is an extra directory name that we don't need because I believe it's contained in the Z work tree root. And we called this program command line Swift. So it's going to go in our current work directory, find the executable and run it. And it's going to use the Swift adapter that comes with the Rust extension for Z. Okay, so I'm going to save this file. And we should have everything set up to go back to the debugger here and say new session. And now you see this debug Swift is showing up there. I'm going to hit enter. And now it's going to build the Swift module. And we've compiled it. You can see a warning because we don't use the variable. Actually, it says that the build failed. So I have a syntax error. Let's take a look at the syntax error here. Nice thing is you can click here to see your syntax errors. Let's see what mistake I made this time. Parsable command. So I'm missing parentheses, I guess. So I should have had an extra parenthesis here. And that did fix it. When I hit save, it reformats everything. Okay, so now we just have the warning of the variable not being mutated. And we're okay with that. We'll create a new debug session. And this time the build worked and it ran. Okay, so now we see the program is running in the debugger. You have frames, breakpoints, console variables, and the terminal here all separated. And I will show you that how to add a breakpoint. So if we want to set a breakpoint, all you got to do is go to your source code, hover over, click, and you can set a breakpoint. So if we run it again, breakpoint set, and the debugger will stop and highlight the line. And then we can start to evaluate expressions here. for example, I can say print name, and we have the name. Now, since it's a variable there, we can also see under variables that the name is there, and we can see what I is set to. I is set equal to 1. Let's step through. Okay, nothing changed. Step over again. We are on the start of the for loop, and since we are out of scope, the I disappeared. And we go back into the for loop, and I is now equal to 2. And then we can continue to see how things are going in the for loop. We can go back to the console to see the output of one more loop in the for loop, and we've printed out number 3. And then we find out the for loop is done, and then we can, stop debugging. So anything that LLDB lets you do, you can do here for expressions and variables. I'm not the most proficient with this debugger tool yet, so I'm going to keep it very basic here in that I got it working. You can loop through, you can set breakpoints. If you right-click on a breakpoint or where you want to put a breakpoint, you also can see other kinds of breakpoints you can set for conditional breakpoints and things like that, or logging breakpoints. So I'm sure there's more information in the Z documentation about specific breakpoints. I think it's very cool that I can start to build command line tools, debug them, and I don't need to use heavy Xcode when I'm doing something that doesn't need all the Swift UI. And this editor just it's quite exciting editor. It has the agentic coding, and so I think I'm gonna start to build some stuff here. So thanks for watching. If you are using Z or using the Swift debugger in Z, if this was helpful, please make a comment in the YouTube comments. Like, subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.